recently held a chakra class, and parts 1 and part 2 are now up and available on YouTube. What happened to me during that first part 1, where I talk about the basic and what came up in my basic without doing all the work of the dragonfly process. And if you want to know more about the dragonfly process, that's part 2 on YouTube. Love for you guys to go check those out. I wanted to come on and create a follow-up video that explained what, for me, the information was that came through and how it pertains to what I'm going through, so that you have a better understanding for yourself. There's some really powerful information in part 1 and part 2. I highly recommend that you go listen to those on YouTube. Please subscribe, please like, it would be very helpful for me. In the meantime, let me kind of go through what I'm talking about here. So with regards to the chakras, I'm using 8 main chakras: the root chakra, which is the tailbone, about grounding; the sacral chakra, which is in your abdomen, which is about creation; the solar plexus chakra, which is in your belly, which is about joy, finding joy; the heart chakra, which is obviously in your heart, and it's about that connection with all that there is. Throat chakra is about speaking personal truth. The third eye chakra is about that intuition and connecting with your intuition, having this sense of knowing. The pineal chakra, which is between the third eye and the crown, and it is your filtration system for all that there is. And then the crown chakra, which is at the top, and that is that divine connection to all that there is. So having said that, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into what I got and what it means. So I'm going to just rattle it off first, so you've got a better understanding. So in the root, I got the raccoon. In the sacral, I got the coyote. In the solar plexus, cotton candy. In the heart, climbing ivy. In the throat, megaphones. In the third eye, a light tower. In the pineal, a goldfish on a filter. And crown, I got a white energy vortex. So I'll repeat that. Root, raccoon. Sacral, coyote. Solar plexus, cotton candy. Heart, climbing ivy. Throat, megaphones. Third eye, a light tower. Pineal was goldfish on a filter. Crown was a white energy vortex. Okay, so what does that mean? First of all, I really want to explain to you that each of these things are going to have a specific meaning for the individual, meaning that I could go look it up and look up the symbolism. And by looking up symbolism, what I do is I go to my search engine. I personally use Mozilla, and I write down raccoon, and then I put a dash, and then I put the word symbolism, and it will bring up the metaphysical meanings behind each of these things. Some of those things you're not going to be able to find, like megaphones and light towers and goldfishes on filters, white energy vortex. You're not necessarily going to find a symbolism to that. So it's more about what does it mean to you. I go into great lengths about even what right and left mean to a person with regards to if it's a dominant hand, what does right and left mean in metaphysical world? What does right and left mean in the cultural aspect or the religious aspect? And I go into great depth in that in, I believe, part 2 of the chakra class. Okay. So let me kind of break this down. Y'all know that I am on an accelerated spiritual journey by choice. And so each of these things are very much in alignment with what I'm doing. So in the root, it's about grounding. It's a raccoon that came up in there. Raccoon wears a mask. So it's that also to everything that comes up for the individual in each of these chakras. It is about their personal. So what does raccoon mean for me? What does the mask mean for me? It's all about going inside myself and seeing what all of that means. So a raccoon is about, it's a scavenger. It's a family unit. It is a low-lying creature that is usually found in lower spots, meaning on the ground. It is something that wears a mask. So where am I possibly deceiving myself? So remember, I am on an accelerated spiritual journey. This week has been a very big awareness of possibly where I'm struggling. And for me, that mask that was being worn by the raccoon was about me experiencing things as a human and wanting human answers when I'm being asked to kind of step past that concept of that humanness of things. And I can't really go into a lot of explanation around that. Sort of what I'm living right now is truly how I'm experiencing life and how I'm moving through life, because I'm choosing to move past the human experience. And in that, it's like this morning I created this reel about being committed in my zone of genius and how difficult it was to write about being committed in my zone of genius now and forever, because I don't feel like I'm committed to being in my zone of genius. But what I'm recognizing, what I'm realizing is that the zone of genius is being asked to shift out of the human concept of what a zone of genius is. And the zone of genius in a human concept is that, oh, I'm creating, I've got people coming to do this, I'm doing that, and right? But I'm being shifted into understanding what the zone of genius is for me on my spiritual journey. And that means that recognition yesterday that I needed to actually stop and not do a thing, that I needed to sleep, that I was being asked to listen to some different sound things that were taking my frequency to a different place. Today, I was in a meditation as a participant, and they mentioned paying attention to the skin. Well, I mean, we think of the skin, right? Well, I actually shifted out of thinking about the skin to feeling the skin, and that skin was moving. And then I thought of crawling skin. Well, it makes my skin crawl. Well, that's a human concept. What I did was I shifted into this awareness of that the skin was like waves. It was this frequency of energy instead. And I don't know if you can feel the power of that, but that is so wild. And that is me shifting my zone of genius. That is me shifting from the human concept into something else, right? So that's what raccoon in my root chakra is all about. It's this grounding energy. Take a breath, right? Coming up into the sacral chakra, that creative center, and the coyote. The coyote is the trickster. So whoops, things are falling off my desk. So what does that mean as well? Old paradigms are falling away. Old ways of looking at things are falling away. That's why that book fell off my desk. So coyote energy. Coyote is the trickster. I also see Coyote, Wile E. Coyote, and the Roadrunner. How he was continually attempting to do something. And the reality of Wile E. Coyote is actually kind of wild, because Wile E. Coyote stepped out of the box. Wile E. Coyote truly believed that the incredible things that he was creating would succeed. The humanness of it, though, was having it crash and burn and whatever else and fail. But the reality of that is, and I had no idea this was coming through, so I love the energy of this. The reality of this is that that Wile E. Coyote was creating things that used to be considered failures in the long run, but are now shifting in the energy of these things can happen. I mean, I've been watching Lee Holden, I believe is his name, with the Superhuman, and the things that are coming up in there are wild, what people are capable of doing. So this is me choosing to step into the awareness that Wile E. Coyote isn't attempting to trick me. Humanness is attempting to trick me. Did you hear what I just said? Humanness is attempting to trick me. That's pretty wild. I got to do something here. There we go. Okay, so coming up into the solar plexus, cotton candy. Well, personally, you know what? When I got cotton candy, all I could think about is, well, like cotton candy? And I am unsure if I like cotton candy. I think I do. I feel like there's some human energy coming up from my mom around cotton candy. I honestly don't remember getting cotton candy as a child. That's big. That's really big. I remember my children having cotton candy, but I don't remember myself as a child having cotton candy. So there is a limiting belief. There is something from my childhood that's holding me back from finding joy in things because of this concept of, do I even like cotton candy, right? I don't remember having cotton candy as a child. So that's a really interesting piece, is what about my childhood is holding me back from finding pure joy, right? From this accelerated spiritual journey. And this permission is a really big thing. Permission is a really big thing right now. So I love that yesterday, actually on Wednesday, I spoke with a beautiful soul, and she, in essence, gave me permission to experience what I was experiencing. I wasn't giving myself permission, but she gave me permission. And that is so fascinating because I am looking outside of myself for permission. So now that I'm getting cotton candy in there, I'm giving myself permission to taste the cotton candy, to experience the cotton candy, to feel the melting of it in my mouth, to possibly purchase it. You can buy it in a rubber or plastic container now. You don't even have to go to fairs anymore to buy cotton candy. It's comical. So I'm giving myself, I'm not necessarily going to run out and buy cotton candy, but I'm giving myself permission to experience cotton candy in a different way. Heart, the climbing ivy is what I got in there. So what does that mean? The climbing ivy, it's so beautiful because I actually bought 3 clematis plants this spring for the front of my deck, because I want to create this beautiful wall. Now, what is the purpose behind that? The purpose that I bought that for was, one is, I think it will be absolutely beautiful to have the greenery there around the sign that I've got there that has our last name on it. So there's something magical about that. It's also a privacy wall so that I can technically lay without a bathing top on and suntan on my own deck if I chose to. So it's privacy, it's the beauty of nature, but also too, climbing ivy is about, instead of just looking at things right here, going to a different perspective and looking at things, connecting in with the energy of those things in a powerful way. So that's what that climbing ivy is all about, is that connecting in. And that's what heart chakra is about. It's connecting with Mother Nature. I'm taking it to the next level. I'm connecting with all that there is, not just Mother Nature, but connecting with all that there is. Feeling that climbing ivy going up into the ethers, right? The throat is megaphones. I've been getting megaphones in my throat chakra for as long as I can remember. I was going to say for decades. I don't know. I haven't been aware of chakras for decades as of yet, but I've been getting megaphones in my throat chakra. I am so speaking my personal truth. That's why I'm here telling you guys what I experience with this basic chakra stuff. It's why I am continually stepping into the energy of talking about my spiritual journey, my accelerated spiritual journey. It's why I come on and I'm upfront and honest with you guys about where I'm at, that this whole week has been a struggle for me because I've been wanting to experience it in one way and judging myself in another. And I love the dragon that came through today on Soulful Empowerment, the Flying Fridays, the guidance dragon. So the megaphones are literally all about me speaking my personal truth. And they're also a very big confirmation that that is what I am doing. So I love that. But it's also too, not only for myself in this case, it's that that I'm yelling it to you guys. I'm sharing it with you guys. I'm bringing it to you guys so that you can experience your world in a different way. So you can look at what you're doing in a different way. I love how animated I am right now. Moving energy, right? Moving energy in a big way. The third eye was the light tower. Third eye is intuition. Third eye is awareness. And I love that it's a light tower. And when I talk about a light tower, it was one of those, sometimes I know where I live, I see these. And basically it's a little black, it's not this small. So it's a black trailer that's wheeled. It's got 2 wheels, can be hauled behind a truck or something. And from it has this, and usually the box is about say 5 feet wide, 5 feet big, because it's energy. It's a motor inside there, an engine inside there. And then from it, extends this tower that has these great big huge lights on it that light up things. And so I love that the light tower is showing up in my third eye, because it's like I've got this light on because I am walking in awareness. I am choosing to look, choosing to be aware of the things that are coming to me. So the light tower in my third eye chakra makes such entire sense to me with regards to my accelerated spiritual journey, right? It's why the people who are my soul family are having conversations with me that are helping me to move forward in that journey as well. Because I'm listening, I'm seeing them, I'm hearing them, right? So the pineal chakra, this one's a little bit of a mystery. Goldfish on a filter. Okay, so I love that. Pineal chakra. So the pineal chakra is the filtration system between your crown and third eye. And in essence, it's bringing through the things that help you move forward. It's filtering things so that you don't have to be as concerned about all the other crap that's going on around us, or stuff that's going on around us. So a goldfish on a filter. It's so interesting because I can feel how it's laying there on its side, and I don't feel like it's flopping. I just feel like it's very comfortable in its own energy right there. So it's almost like Wile E. Coyote right now. Wile E. Coyote was in the sacral chakra, and he was about doing things that, as a human brain, we understand they're not going to work, but he continued to do them. And that's what I'm feeling the energy of with this goldfish is this goldfish, it's not flopping around trying to survive. It is comfortable in the energy of where it's at, and that there's a filter there. So it doesn't feel like it's in distress at all. And that's what's most clear, is that my awareness of things is shifting, and therefore what's coming through is starting to shift. So just like when I started to talk about coyote, all I could think about was, first of all, that coyote was the trickster. And then when Wile E. Coyote popped in, booyah, that was like, holy cow, the information of that was so powerful. So that's what the goldfish on the filter really represents to me. It's that looking at something from a different perspective and totally getting it and understanding it and flowing with it rather than fighting against it as a human concept, right? And then the crown, the white energy vortex. Wow, that white energy vortex is so very, very powerful. And I just feel so very supported by that. And I feel like it is who I am, never mind that it's coming through the divine source, but it is who I am. And I choose to walk as a light being, channeling love, channeling information, and whatever that looks like. That was a lot of information. I didn't figure out what any of this was going to mean or anything. I chose instead to come in as I usually do and just let it flow to see what came through. And I'm so glad that I did. So hopefully that was helpful to you. As mentioned, this is part of the YouTube channel, and there is part 1 and part 2 of the Chakra Class, as well as under my spiritual topics. And I would love for you to subscribe. And thank you for the Empowering the Healer Within community for sharing their space while I create this video. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Thank you.